So if you don't want to be one of these brokeypreneurs that are not making even $10,000 a month online, it's very likely because one of these things that we're going to show you in this video is true.
So what we're about to do here is a 4-part challenge, and you want to make sure you mark the calendar for the grand finale, which is the last part. And the date for that grand finale is somewhere on this page or in the video description below. Now, if you watch this video all the way till the end, you also have the chance to participate in our giveaway, and that is a course package valued at $5,000. The winner will be selected from the leaderboard at the end of this 4-part challenge.
Let me quickly explain how the leaderboard works, because it's really simple. You just watch each and every training inside of this challenge all the way till the end. Then you like the post right here and you comment. And if you provide value and other people see what you were posting and other people like what you just said, then you will get rewarded points. And at the end of the challenge, the person with the most amount of points will win this course package.
So be active in the community, watch all the videos till the end, and share your daily wins and lessons learned from this 4-part video challenge.
With that being said, welcome to video number 3 of the 4-part challenge.
Now, before we get into the things that keep people broke, let's just quickly recap what we talked about in video 1 and 2 in case you didn't see them already. Video 1, we talked about the biggest gold rush in human history and what a nomadic prospector is and does, and also why there is a huge demand for this kind of service and this kind of person in today's age and time. And in video number 2, we were showing you the exact 3-step process on how top nomadic prospectors make multiple tens of thousands of dollars each and every month. And now let's get back to the brokeypreneurs and what are the things that keep them stuck.
So basically it's all mindset and all the things that they tell themselves that keep them below 10K a month. And the first thing I really have to say it, but it is business models that are really hypey, fancy, trendy, and basically all the things that these 17-year-old gurus are preaching on Instagram, on social medias, while making videos in their parents' basement and driving Corollas. This is a thing that I've seen over and over again. People doing social media marketing agency, AI automation, trash, or even some of them are doing Airbnb, real estate, passive investing, and crypto, and what have you. But all of these things, they might work for a few days or something, maybe weeks, maybe even a year, but at the end of the day, people are going to lose it all. And then they wonder why they are not progressing in life and in their business. And then they switch from one model to the other one. So for example, let's say we take real estate. A lot of people see it very prestigious to be a real estate investor, but how do you really get into this? You can't just create money out of thin air with real estate. You have to have tens of thousands, if not even hundreds of thousands, in order to buy real estate. And it's not as fast and easy as people make it look like, because it is not to make money, but to multiply it. And in order to multiply money, you need to first make money. So you need to really focus on a high income skill first before you think of investing vehicles like real estate or investing into stocks or crypto or something. And don't even get me started on the other business models like social media marketing agency, where you basically create your own 9-to-5 all over again, call yourself a fancy entrepreneur, but actually you're not in the 9-to-5 anymore, you're on a 24/7.
And the best are these things that are like faceless channels, faceless profiles that you're gonna make a ton of money overnight and never showing your face. So, I mean, let's be real for a second. Where did you spend $10,000 where you never saw a face? That just doesn't happen. And this beautifully blends into the next point, which is like thinking this online thing has to be passive and the cash has to come quick, and people are on their last dollar and trying to make it work tomorrow. Usually it always has a ramp up period. No matter what you do, it's like learning a new skill, and you cannot expect, like, let's say you want to learn a foreign language, like buy a book and go out and do and make it happen by tomorrow. That's not gonna happen for most people. For 99.99, like whatever, it's not gonna happen. You need to have some discipline and some consistency in that process, whatever it is you chose. And that's why most of that like stuff overnight doesn't work, and people give up much too early because they got promised the sky and then delivered the reality, and they don't want to know, they don't want to have the reality.
And the thing is, we really do believe if you are falling for these get rich quick things and you do one thing for a week and then you stop, you actually deserve to be poor, because if it was easy and if it was super fast and super shiny, then everyone would do it and it wouldn't be worth anything. And we believe that you really need to do the things that are needed in order to get to the results, not just pressing a button and hoping that someday some bright knight and shiny armor shows up and is going to save you. But the beautiful thing about this is, if you are committed and you show up every single day, not for a month or something, but for 6 months, maybe a year or even 2, it's easier for everyone who's committed, because all of those brokey losers, they just want to make a quick buck here and there. They're not committed for the long term.
Then we got the big AI purge. And then there are all these people that tell us like, oh, everything's gonna be replaced by artificial intelligence and your method's not gonna work anymore. And like, let's be real for a second. Like, when was the last time you took 5,000, you took 10,000, 20,000, maybe let's talk about real estate. When did you buy that from AI? Like, would you buy a house from AI? Would you buy a car from AI? Would you buy a coaching for $20,000 from AI? Doesn't happen. Where's the human connection, right? Doesn't happen. Like, of course, artificial intelligence is replacing some push button opportunities and stuff and fancy gimmicks that maybe have been working in the past, but for human connection, that is gonna happen. If it ever happens, that's gonna happen the last thing, and then we got different problems.
Yeah, and in my opinion, or in our opinion, actually the more AI is out there, the more humans are craving for that connection, and it's actually getting easier for the people who are actually willing to do the work and show up, rather than having a robot take over. And so another thing that keeps most people stuck is really that they think that they have to go on different platforms and make the algorithm work for them, or that a single feature matters or something. And in 2025, actually TikTok was down for a couple of days or something, and all of these businesses who were built on TikTok, they thought, oh, I can't make this work or something, I will go out of business. And yeah, if you put all your eggs into one basket and you go all in on TikTok, and let's say it would be banned forever or something, I don't want to talk about news or something that happens or so, but the thing is, when something like a slap happens and maybe one platform goes out of style, you don't want to have your eggs in one basket. You want something that is evergreen and proven across all different platforms and it's working every single time, rather than some loophole methods that are abusing maybe one part of the Instagram algorithm or the Facebook algorithm, or maybe a specific loophole tactic, how you make your captions or something to get more reach or so. This is all stuff that doesn't matter, because in an instant it can be wiped out. So what we focus all the time and all our energy on is making something truly principle oriented. So that means we are working on the business, not inside of the business. We're working on the principles and not on the nitty gritty, how do you tweak this here and there, but we're working on what's making it work long term, and therefore on all of the platforms.
And then there's the people telling like, oh, I'm not able to find qualified leads or coaches as partners. Like, really guys, like, what is a lead? What is a prospect? Who is the buyer? Like, that's a person that is in the market already there. They don't get born like in next month. They're there, right? So this point is entirely your mindset of thinking like, I don't have the confidence to do it because it's nothing else. The person is already there. The coaches are already there. Open Instagram, type in coach, you got millions of people there. So there is a switch you have to make if you think like that. Like, it's all there yet. You just need the strategy, the process, and as we said earlier in this video, the consistency and the work ethic to make it happen, to push through and stick with it long enough so you can master this skill.
And if you really want to become the top 1% of all nomadic prospectors, you need to have a solid system, of course. And if you think that you can't find qualified leads or coaches and partners, this comes really from a lack mindset rather than an abundance mindset, because the truth is there are so many people out there and they are already waiting for you. You just have to show up and do the work. And this is why 99% of people will forever stay broke, which leads me to the next thing, which is people thinking that they have to follow their passion. And this is really the biggest scam of our time, because it sounds like good advice. Just follow your heart, follow your passion and you will never work a day in your life or something. Have you ever heard that? I think this is totally not true. And in my mind, you have to first do the things that are necessary to earn the right to do the things that you're passionate about. So for example, if you want to get to 10K a month, if you're not already there, then you have to first choose something that works and that is generating that amount of money, and not go ahead and just playing guitar or something and hope to make an income from that. It's not how it works. But once you're there, maybe you can play a little bit more guitar because you earned your freedom. I've seen so many people starting businesses with their passions. They try to paint pictures and sell them, or they want to play on stage with a guitar or so, maybe join a band, or I don't know, play volleyball or something. But people rarely make it with those kind of things.
So just keep the goal in mind. If you want to make money, go for a strategy that actually delivers that and makes money. Then you got time and freedom for your passion, and that doesn't need to make you money because not everybody likes what you do, and that's good. You have your thing there and you follow for the money a proven strategy that does that.
And the best part about this whole thing is that you can actually fall in love with the process. Maybe you don't like it at first, but you get good at it, and once you got some dopamine hits coming in, maybe you enjoy it a little bit more, and once you get better, you build true expertise in something, and every time that we develop some expertise, we tend to like it a little bit more.
The sweet rewards coming in, yeah. Then there's this whole thing about rejection, and I'm afraid of talking to people, and I'm afraid to get in touch with other people, and that's probably why all this fancy trendy stuff is people going crazy about but not getting results with it, because they try to do it behind like hiding behind the screen, right? Since we're going to school, like we get raised this way, like don't stand up, don't do something different than the crowd, follow what everybody else is doing, and there are very few people that actually like stand out. Like if there's a big office, like everybody's just behind their screen and just doing something, and they never make it. Like this is why 99% of the professionals actually never really accomplish something. They just do what everybody else is doing, and they don't stand up, they don't build their network, they don't get in touch with people. And this is, however, where all the business is happening. If you think back about what we talked previously, a nomadic prospector goes to the followers and raises interest or connects the interest to an offer of a coach, and then there is a nomadic closer who actually makes that deal happen. And this is actually where the money is created. Like the transaction is collected in this process of getting in touch with somebody and actually bringing them to sign a deal. And all the people in the background that are maybe doing accounting and do some paperwork and making sure that everything works smoothly, like with the service, with the delivery, which is a lot of people in today's world, they are actually costing the business owner, the coach, money, because at the end of the month, they just come, please give me the salary, please give me the money. For what? Right? For the time I put into. But it's not the result, it's just for the time. And if you're gonna get paid for the time, it's like a commodity in the marketplace, and it's just a race to the bottom. Who does that work that you do for the cheapest? So you don't want to be in that game. You want to be in the game where you can write your own paycheck, because you put in the work, you drive in the results, and you become the most valuable person in somebody's business, in a coaching business.
And if this means that you have to go through some rejections at first, sure, so be it. But these rejections, they will build your confidence. And if you have a little bit less confidence when you start out, that's totally fine. But this is a skill. The more you get rejected, the better you will get at handling those rejections, and the confidence will come by itself. Just show up and become the most valuable person inside of the business. And most people think that nomadic prospecting is some sort of client acquisition via cold calling or being pushy or slimy. But in fact, the exact opposite is true. When you follow the steps that we lay out here, it is the exact opposite. Because the nomadic prospector isn't going out to some random people in a list that maybe a lead generation tool or a boss gave you and said, hey, call these deals. No, it's something completely different. You're going to people who are already interested in a specific topic. And it doesn't matter if someone commented on a reel, or you sent a welcome message to a follower, or you even go to other people who are in the same niche as you and you're telling them, hey, I got this community, come over or something. It is a process where we already talking with people who are warm. They are already inside of that niche. It's not that we're trying to convince anyone to believe that, I don't know, the keto diet is the best diet. They already believe that the keto diet is good.
Now then there's this whole topic significant conversation going on that prospectors are like second-class citizens. We talk to a lot of nomadic closers and they're like, I just want to do the closing. But then see what happens, especially if you're a nomadic closer and you do not have enough appointments. There's nothing happening.
And the funny thing is, Manu, when we wrote our book, Nomad Millionaire Secrets, we wrote one chapter, by the way. If you want the book, we will link it here in the description below this video. We wrote one chapter where we talked about how you can raise your commission from 10-15% all the way up to 50. And this is the exact process that we're teaching here. So if you're already a nomadic closer and you want to learn this nomadic prospecting thing, your commissions could be all the way up to 50% because you're doing the things afraid of doing, or because they simply don't know how to do it. Because once you know the skill, it's actually quite cool and fun and it's enjoyable. And when you make an offer to a coach, it could be anywhere from 25% to 50%. And now do the math inside of your head, how much more you could potentially make if you are not only closing, but you're also a nomadic prospector and you're doing the whole thing. And we are also seeing that all the good nomadic prospectors are even better closers. So in my opinion, closers who are only doing the closing calls and thinking that they're better than the prospectors for some reason just because they collect the payment are actually pretty bad at what they do. Because the good ones, they understand that gold standard appointments are the most important thing and closing is just the finalization, the last part of it. And if you're a beginner and you're starting out with nomadic prospecting, this will lay the solid foundation for you then later becoming a nomadic closer and having the whole thing working for you.
So then there are these people thinking like, okay, nomadic prospecting is just like spamming people and just sending those gimmicky messages around. Like if I open my Instagram right now, I get them daily. I get like, oh, warning, your business account gets shut down, or like all this OnlyFans promo, whatever. Like it's totally not that. It is a very, very natural conversation that leads from, for example, somebody started following you like, hey, welcome to the community, and it goes to the next step. It's very smooth, it's natural. It's not something like we said before, like it's not something like cold calling, like
we're creating a bond with the audience.
Yes, and there is a lot of like fine-tuning that we did in perfecting this process, and that's why it works so well. And what a nomadic prospector is doing is also not about sales. We do have the nomadic closer in that specific position doing exactly that part of the process. It is more like approving somebody and being like, okay, you're qualified or you're disqualified. You're saying yes or no, and there is like boxes to tick and to check. And this is just asking a few questions, and there is no selling happen. There is no offer to be made as a nomadic prospector. And if they tick all the boxes, you push that to the nomadic closer and they make all that happen. They handle that, they collect the money. And still, even though the nomadic prospector didn't do any of the selling, they still get a major piece of the commission because the nomadic closer and the coach, they need these gold standard appointments that the nomadic prospector creates.
And one of my biggest pet peeves is also when people think they can do everything by themselves and they don't need the help of other people. So for example, imagine this. You're watching all of these videos right here and you think, okay, let me do this alone and I'm gonna start it. And then you do it for a while and then you think, for some reason it doesn't work. This is quite common actually. And I've seen so many people ending up in the same spot as they were like 5, 6, 7 years ago. I'm in business for 10 years now. And below my YouTube videos, I see the exact same names, each and every video commenting. And the thing is, when I ask them, how have you been? Did you start your business? Yes. Did you make some sales? No, I just dabble here and there. The thing is, you need to learn a proven process from someone who's already been there and has done that and has already been in the trenches. So actually, in my opinion, there's also a small nuance between a coach and the mentor. And the difference is a coach can coach you to be good at something, but a mentor has already been there and is teaching you from experience. And you need to learn from someone who's actually experienced in that, what he's preaching. So everything that we are sharing with you here inside of this challenge, in our courses and mentoring, in our books, everything has been from us. We've already done that. We've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into our education. Then we took what we learned and we tested it in our own businesses. And then we only share the things that we are still doing right now that are working for us with you guys, so so that you only have the proven processes here in place. And in my opinion, it's actually crazy to think that if other people invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into this to make it work, that you can do it for free. So in my opinion, investing in yourself is the biggest and best thing to get a return on invest, because the invest in yourself and your own education and your own brain has the highest ROI out of everything. Of course, you can put $1 into Facebook ads and maybe get $3 or $4 back. But if you put $1 into your brain and you learn something that can make you money, it's infinite.
And that's also a good point for the next thing we're here to share, which is when people think like, yeah, what if the closer is doing a shitty job and because of that, I'm not getting my commission and all the work I did ended up in vain. So that is, of course, possible in theory, like there are always black sheeps out there. But of course, the closer could have the same thoughts about you. What if you're doing a shitty job and they never get an appointment? So you see, there is teamwork happening here. And of course, the nomadic closer and the coach, they want this to be smooth. So if there's something odd going on here in the process and it doesn't work how it's supposed to work, you can guess how long that's gonna take until that bad fit is gonna be replaced. It's not gonna happen long, because guess what? The coach needs to pay their costs, the coach needs to make money to pay their bills, so need you, so needs the closer. So anything that doesn't work in this process gets revealed very quickly. There is no hiding here. It's all very, very like, if the deal happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, they look very quickly like why it didn't happen. You can be sure that is not really a thing, at least not for long term.
Yes, of course. And we all want to become A players and be the top of our game. And trust me, when we see someone who is serious in our businesses, for example, and it is super important to adopt the mindset of an A player. And trust me, once you are on a team with A players, you will also become an A player, or the other A players will see that you're a C or a D player and you're not even willing to level up, you'll be out. So if you are an A player, and I don't mean that your skills need to be on A level right off the bat, of course not, and everybody is starting off somewhere. But if you have the mindset of an A player and you're willing to learn and adapt and you take proactive approaches to get better, of course you will be one of the best. But if you're just lazy and dabbling and thinking that you can push a button and become wealthy or something, it's not gonna work. And the same thing is true for the closer. Of course, if the closer maybe even has a little bit of skill but is showing the attitude of a C-level player, they will be replaced, of course. And therefore, there will not be a B or C or D level closer inside of the business. This is the harsh reality. But if it would be other than that, it wouldn't be worth it. So you need to level up your game.
And for all the people that think just because they made a close in the past or been working somewhere in their life in the sales area or in the deal making area of a business, sometimes they're thinking like, hey, yeah, this nomadic prospect, I don't need any education on that. I don't need a mentor on that. I can do this by default because I've done this in the past.
Real estate or cars or insurance, this is 80s stuff. Yeah, we're talking here nomadic closing and nomadic prospecting, and this is really the new model. It's nothing that the old guys in the books are teaching.
So if you want to work with a process that the top nomadic prospectors are working with in today's day and age, and it is proven and perfected in every little detail, and you want to level up, then you want to complete this video challenge and pay attention to what we're saying here. And if you're like, okay, yeah, you know, sounds all good. I've heard that before. I invested in a coaching, I've invested in a mentoring before, I spent some money online, I've been burned, and you're super skeptic right now.
Because that's the entire attitude of someone who's just in a victim mentality. You know, just because some things didn't work for you doesn't mean that you have to repeat it. As Tony Robbins always said, your past doesn't equal your future. And just because something happened that might be a little bit sad or possibly didn't work out for you, there are actually things out there that work really, really well once you're willing to do the work. And sometimes you need to ask yourself, was it me or was it the system? And one of my mentors always said, it's never the system, it's always you. And we need to take the responsibility for the things that happen in our lives. And if we don't, of course, we deserve to stay poor.
And by the way, we are also launching our brand new 30-day elite prospecting accelerator program that will then give you these exact strategies and tactics that the top nomadic prospectors use to get tens of thousands of dollars each and every month.
And we're also going to make a special offer for everyone who's on the grand finale, and the offer is going to be available for a very short amount of time, and the spaces are going to be limited. We don't know exactly how long it will be open right now and how many seats we will have, but we will reveal that on the grand finale as well.
Yes, and so with the past 3 videos, you have just experienced the very tip of the iceberg of what's possible with nomadic prospecting. And maybe you want to take a minute now, reflect on the aha moments, the lessons you learned, the strategies you've discovered by going through this challenge so far. And again, this was just a glimpse. Imagine what the next level strategies and advanced mentoring in our full program will do for you. How much faster and more efficient will that help you create the success you're looking for?
And imagine for a second, we're giving so much value out for free. Think of what is already inside of that program when it comes out.
Yes, and so in the grand finale, we're going to tie it all together and show you how you can start your journey towards becoming a nomadic prospector and put everything we talked about in the challenge into practice, no matter if you are just a beginner and starting out or you're already closing deals like a nomadic closer right now. So make sure you're there in the grand finale. Again, the date is somewhere here on this page or in the video description. We guys see you there.
Alrighty, reserve your seat below.